it was really compelling because somehow this tongue cleaner brand is like the #3 YouTube brand channel behind like Apple and Old Spice. So our presenter is Austin Gray. I'll ask Austin to come up here now. He's not only going to present this, he is the actual YouTube spokesperson / celebrity for the brand. He told me just now that he's going to be at the big YouTube Con thing in California in next week, and maybe he'll get to sign autographs or some crazy thing. But anyway, take it away, Austin. Tell us about Orabrush.
Which one should I use? Hi, I'm excited to be here. Orabrush. How many of you have heard of Orabrush? Got a couple? Handful? It's an interesting story, but it's one that I'm happy to share with you. And there are a few lessons we've learned as we've grown Orabrush. We've created a few models that we use. One of them is what we call the engagement loop. This is our strategy of driving our online engaged fan base to our offline presence in retail stores, and then those retail consumers back online to engage with the brand again. To kind of explain who we are, let me give you some of our background story of how we started. We started online. Orabrush, a few years ago, was just one guy, the inventor, a man named Dr. Bob. He invented this tongue cleaner. He had a PhD in biomechanical sciences. I really should know that technically. But he was very qualified, invented this tongue cleaner, and it's the finest tongue cleaner in the world, but nobody bought it. People weren't really cleaning their tongues. It wasn't a regular part of their oral hygiene routine. And he would beg retailers to put this on their shelves, and even when they would take it and put it on their shelves, people would walk right past it. They wouldn't pick it up. And so in a final act of desperation, he went to the local university near where he lives in Utah and asked a marketing class to research his product, and asked them specifically to look at selling it online because he'd already tried to take it to retailers and nothing happened there. They researched his product, did some market research, did some focus groups, and concluded that 92% of consumers would not be interested in buying something like this online. 92%. So Dr. Bob, you better just retire, work on your golf score. You've had a good run. But there was one student in that class who raised his hand and says, now hold on, that means that there's 8% of the internet that might be interested in buying this. 8% of the internet is a lot of people. Are you sure you shouldn't go after that? And Dr. Bob really liked the sound of that. He connected with the student after class and they brokered a deal. Dr. Bob would give this student his motorcycle for the next 6 to 8 months of work, working nights and weekends. Kid, can you figure out how to sell my tongue cleaner on the internet? I'll give you my old Honda Shadow or whatever it was. So he took it on and started working nights and weekends. This student was a friend of mine. We worked together. And let me back up. Good friend of mine, and at work, my coworkers and I were a social media intern team at FamilyLink.com, and we worked in a windowless office for 8 hours a day on Facebook and Twitter, and you can only do that for so long without going about insane. And so my coworkers would deliberately provoke me. They would say things about politics or company policy or technology that they knew I didn't agree with, and I would start talking a mile a minute and say, are you insane? Have you really thought about the implications of what you're talking about? That doesn't make any sense at all. And they thought this was very funny. And so Jeff one day sees this happening and he goes, now hold on, can you do that about bad breath on video? That crazy fast talk thing you do? So sure, we shot this video after work on a Friday.
Bad breath. I'm a halitophobia. I'm not so much afraid of me having bad breath. I'm afraid of other people having bad breath. As in, hey buddy, your breath smells like crap. Maybe you should develop a case of halitophobia. Now I know what you're asking. How do we know if we have bad breath? You use this. You use a spoon. Now I know what you're thinking. A spoon, you eat with a spoon, you play spoons. You spoon your girlfriend. You take the spoon. Yeah, you take the spoon and you stick it at the back of your tongue and gently scrape. Let it dry and take a whiff. If it stinks, your breath stinks. And if your breath stinks, this is the only kind of spooning you're going to be getting. The smart viewer out there will know, to check your bad breath, you notice that we checked our tongue. 90% of bad breath comes from bacteria and residue on the tongue. On your tongue. Now your mom doesn't sound so stupid for telling you to brush your tongue, now does she? Tongues are like sponges, soaking up all that bacteria. Toothbrushes are meant to clean the smooth surfaces of your teeth, not your tongue. And the tongue scraper, you remember the sponge, right? The tongue scraper just goes over the top of your tongue. This ain't gonna work. And mouthwash? This is like trying to clean your carpet with a hose. You're just watering down the problem. And then there's the option that actually works. This. The Orabrush. The soft bristles feel great on your tongue. You just go back and forth a few times, then go all the way back, pull it forward, and see what comes off. It's the cure to bad breath. You can use this longer than your toothbrush. Use it in the morning, eliminate morning breath, fresh breath all day, and then use it at night, right before bed. You know what I'm talking about, huh? So do you and me and the rest of mankind a favor, get one of these. And your Uncle Steve, the one who looks like he's got a thick coat of fur on his tongue, get him one too. Put it in his Christmas stocking. He'll thank you for it later. His wife will, the kids will, everybody will be happier, trust me. Get your first Orabrush free at orabrush.com/free.
So we shoot this video after work on a Friday, and I don't think much of it, but my friend Jeff, the guy who recruited me, he, being the astute young marketer that he is, he realized the value of the iterative process and incremental improvements, and he put this video out there and then started testing things, testing different edits of the video, testing different titles, testing different tags and descriptions, until we reached a point with incremental improvement where for every $40 we spent promoting this video, because we did not have money to promote it to begin with, we would make back a little bit more. Say we'd spend 40, we'd make back 45 in sales. And the video itself, while kind of a fun video, is not a huge elaborate production. I think we had a $500 budget on this, and Dr. Bob, the inventor, thought that that was astronomical, but we had to make a video. So he conceded, and we made our video. So once he got it to where it was cash flow positive, that promoting this video made money, we rolled all the profits back into promoting the video, and it snowballed. Flash forward not too long, within weeks we had many thousands of views. Within a few months we were starting to get into the millions. And here today, this number is outdated. This video now has 17 million views, and it's still one of the highest converting videos we've had. I say highest converting videos we've had because one video is not a strategy, and we realized that pretty early on. We had to start creating more content to promote our product and to promote our brand. What we concluded that to do to promote the brand is to introduce another character. Now, you already had the Orabrush guy, me, in a lab coat and goggles, but we introduced a character in a giant tongue costume. A giant human tongue, 6 feet tall. And we had him do a video every week. He's a local comedian. He's hysterical. Half of his stuff is ad-libbed. But he'd put out a video every week just to engage with the audience. Here's a sampling of that.
What is our goal as a company?
Our goal is, of course, to be the #1 tongue cleaner in the world.
Exactly. To become the #1 social networking site online. Except the tide is turning back from virtual friendships to real-life sharing. People want to share with each other. I give you Orabrush Plus. Everyone has something special to share. And sharing special moments with other people is important. But wouldn't it be great if we could all share like the same thing? Like sharing the same tongue cleaner. And not just sharing the same kind of tongue cleaner, but actually, literally sharing the same Orabrush. Then it would be like we were sharing a special moment. Don't fall behind the 8 ball. Keep up with the Joneses. Or better yet, share your saliva with the Joneses. Join Orabrush Plus today.
You gotta try this thing. I've never felt cleaner.
Share something with everyone. It's almost like kissing them.
Go.
Orabrush Plus.
Listen, stop.
My Orabrush.
Disgusting.
Put it in your mouth.
No, wait, put it in your mouth. Stop it. Put it in your mouth.
Touch your hand.
I know.
Went too far.
So, this isn't a direct sales video. It's not like this is going to persuade you, man, I gotta try that out. Because that's disgusting. But it is very funny. And people would tune into these and watch them regularly, and we'd get thousands of views on these weekly videos just from Morgan the Orabrush tongue, the giant human tongue. Another thing that we promoted, another angle that we took on this is we're already on YouTube. We're producing our own sales videos, and we're producing these just branding videos for fun. But we discovered that there are personalities on YouTube. There are people on there who upload videos regularly, and in that space they are superstars. I was talking with Kathy right before I came up here. Her son spends a lot of time on YouTube, and I'll bet you he knows a lot of these people quite well. Teenagers, kids, spend a lot of time on there, and I'm going to a conference in a few days where it's their conference, and these are people who could walk down the street and you never would recognize them, and they're not going to get mobbed, but you go to a YouTube convention and people are going to be screaming like John Lennon is there. So we got in contact with a few of these people and said, hey, we're Orabrush. You've probably seen our ad on YouTube. We want you to do a review of the product. And we got them to do some reviews. The unanticipated consequence of this is that their fan base followed their example. So we got millions of views from these major YouTube personalities doing the reviews, but then we got kind of a long tail effect of all of their fans who have significantly fewer, but there are a lot of them, significantly fewer views for all of these different fans, them doing reviews as well.
Be doing a review on the Orabrush. Now what this is a tongue cleaner. Let me get you a little bit of back information. All that bacteria and all that white plaque that's stuck on your tongue, that's what causes bad breath. And it sticks on there. Now with a toothbrush, you can't get it off because when you're scraping it around with a toothbrush, it's just kind of moving it around. It doesn't really get into between the taste buds and get it all out. What this does, it has little bristles on it, and they're soft. And what you do is you wet your mouth and you go like this back and forth on your tongue, and it has a little scraper on the end, and you scrape it all out. This works amazing. It gets all that nasty stuff off your tongue. Your tongue feels so clean.
This girl is quoting our advertising copy. We couldn't have asked for a better endorsement. Not that it was, again, not that it was a highly produced magical video, but this is a girl who has a small but dedicated audience, and if she recommends it to them, they're going to go out and check it out. And we saw this happen over and over and again. We've got hundreds of reviews now on Orabrush. The vast majority of them saying, this is a fantastic product, you got to go out and try it. Their videos are funny, but the product works really well as well. The end result of all this, by driving so much activity on YouTube, is we became the third most subscribed sponsored channel on YouTube. What that means is there are channels who will buy advertising on YouTube. Of those companies who spend money promoting their brand on YouTube, we're behind only Old Spice and Apple. We beat out some significant names on that list, and it's a position we're pretty proud of. Oh, before I jump to the next slide. Going to YouTube for us was an act of necessity. We didn't know where else to go. We couldn't buy advertising on TV. We didn't have the money for it. We couldn't buy billboards. We couldn't buy much of anything because we didn't have any money. But YouTube was a low barrier to entry, and we knew if we played around with the ecosystem, maybe we could figure it out. So we wanted to go where our consumers were, where our customers, potential customers, were. And we thought about it, and another place that they were was on their phones, their mobile, particularly the iPhone with mobile apps. And so we thought about what we could do there and came up with the Orabrush Bad Breath Detector.
For the iPhone. Let's test it out. Come on. Hey, do either of you have a second? Real quick, we're testing an iPhone application. It's a bad breath detector.
No way.
Wait, look, it says bad breath detector right there.
Oh gosh. I don't know if my breath will stand up to the test.
Is this the
Orabrush thing?
Let's give it a shot. See how effective that is. You hit the button, and you blow at the bottom for 3 seconds. Ready, set, blow.
Way to go, booger breath. Just voided the warranty on this iPhone.
What, did it really just get my breath?
Ready, set, go.
I feel violated. Please blow again.
How does it decide? Like,
To test your breath.
I know, but what makes a good breath or bad breath?
Well, I just drank some root beer, so it's probably pretty bad, actually.
It smells like a skunk crawled out of the sewer, into your mouth, farted, and then died. And then farted again.
Okay. Wow. Good job. Thank you.
It was good for me. How was it for you?
Good, perfect. That's good then, isn't it?
Urine. Just because it's sterile doesn't mean you should drink it.
Gross! That's awful! That is so embarrassing. Does it just get better and better every time? Yes! Yes.
I smell dead people.
This is crushing my hopes and dreams.
You ever made out with a phone? Now's your chance.
All right. Certifiably smoochable.
They should make your breath scented candles.
I think it's biased.
How is it biased? It's just a test. This is scientific.
It's rigged.
Oh, how was it? I've always wondered what tastes like.
Did you have good or bad breath?
It's excellent.
Excellent?
Let's see.
Well, let's try it out. Blow.
It's as if fresh bread and fresh flowers married and consummated in your mouth.
Told you.
Good job.
Excellent. Fresh bread and fresh flowers consummated in my mouth.
Has anyone ever told you your breath smells wonderful? They never will.
Excuse me, we're making a YouTube video.
Just breathe into the mic. Breathe into the microphone.
So the fun thing about that is it's fundamentally social. It's something you pull out at a party. It's a fun parlor trick, and if you want to know how it works, you're going to have to download the app. But we got a lot of downloads on that with no promotion. In fact, that video got a lot of views. That has well over a million views now with no promotion, simply because people are looking for apps on YouTube. They're looking for reviews. They're looking for fun new things to try out. And that one was a big hit for us. Remember at the end of that first video I showed you, it said, get your first Orabrush free at orabrush.com/free. Well, one of the things we asked them to do to get their free Orabrush was to like us on Facebook. Using that as one of the gates to get your free Orabrush got us a lot of Facebook fans, which has been very valuable to us. We use that audience to do market research, to do even focus groups. We can recruit people from our local area who are already familiar with the brand and ask them questions about what they think, what they've observed, what they would like to see. And if we just put out a regular Facebook poll to our fans on Facebook, within minutes we can have thousands of responses to questions that would have taken a lot of money to hire an agency to go find out. But we have direct access to them because we have this critical mass of Facebook fans. It's been not just good for hype, it's been good for finding out who our consumer is. All of the success in social media has translated into exposure in mainstream media. We've been covered in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal several times. ABC Nightline came to Utah and did a story about us. And that guy in the giant tongue costume has been solid gold because everybody wants to point a camera at him. Anybody who does a story about us features a giant picture of Morgan the Orabrush tongue. It's fantastic. Using him was one of the better PR moves we've ever made. Advertising Age has recognized us several times, and TechCrunch, this is one of the higher compliments we've received. We're the Justin Bieber of mouth care, which in the world of YouTube is a big deal. But for traditional brands, they said except Orabrush's use of YouTube may be more impressive than Pepsi or Old Spice, because we were promoting a product that nobody had ever heard of, that nobody cared about. There was no brand affinity there. So those are our efforts online, and that's where we've focused and had a lot of success, and we've got a small team of people who we spend way too much time on Facebook and YouTube figuring it all out. If you came to work and just hung out in our office, you'd wonder if we were actually working because we watch a lot of YouTube videos. But what we really wanted, and what I think everybody who has a product ultimately wants, is to get it into retail. You remember that class that Dr. Bob approached and had to do the market research? They concluded that 92% of people wouldn't be interested in buying something like this online. Well, that's backed up. Apparently their data is correct. Maybe their conclusions aren't. But 93% of sales happen offline. People buy in retail. So we wanted to get into retail. After selling online and having so much success there, we started to get inquiries from retailers across the globe. We started getting inquiries from the UK, from Canada, and Japan, and Australia. We got inquiries from all of these countries before we got inquiries in the United States. But even then, we started getting inquiries in the United States, retailers saying, I don't know what your story is or who you guys are, but I've got customers coming and asking for your product. And then we'd explain to them how we'd promoted this demand, and they'd get real excited, and they'd take us in and put us on their shelves. The retailer we really wanted, though, the proverbial elephant in the room, was Walmart, biggest retailer in the world. So we opened up a dialogue with them through traditional avenues, started talking with them, and it had been going back and forth via email. We were sending sales numbers, and we were running a test market in some of the Walmarts in Utah. And it was going really well, but we were used to working on the web. And if we wanted something to happen, we could do it on the web, and it would happen fast. Working through traditional sales cycle to to broker some kind of deal with Walmart and get it on their shelves felt to us glacially slow. And so we decided we were going to try to come at them from as many different angles as we could. One of the angles that we tried out is explained in this video. Well, several of them.
2 years ago, 75-year-old inventor Dr. Bob teamed up with some college students to try to figure out how to sell his tongue cleaner online. We figured out, using YouTube, how to effectively sell the Orabrush on the internet. We've sold almost 1 million of these. And even after tens of thousands of comments from our YouTube channel saying, why can't we buy you in major stores? Why can't I go down to Walmart? We still had a hard time getting a hold of major retailers like Walmart.
One of the Walmart store managers had seen our videos and became familiar with Orabrush and ordered an Orabrush and used it for several months. And after that, he wanted to have Orabrush in his store, so he contacted us
and say, hey, I'd love to carry your tongue cleaner in my store. Some Walmart managers from other stores were going on a store tour, and they went through his Walmart, saw our display, and were so impressed by just the display that they all wanted it as well.
So within about 2 or 3 weeks, we had 20 Walmart stores carrying Orabrush.
The sales here in Utah were so good that we knew it was time to get in touch with Walmart headquarters to do a broader launch outside of just this state, but get it everywhere.
We decided to do some advertising in magazines where we spent over $20,000, and it was just not successful at all. In addition to that, we sent a video to the buyer at Walmart headquarters designed specifically for Walmart executives.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for carrying everything a person could ever want anywhere, ever, anytime, ever.
Michael J. Fox.
That's a different Michael.
Hey, anytime you want to lend me the DeLorean, I'd love to go back in time.
Not the same Michael.
So on the DVD, it was personalized and customized with their names. Hi, we're Orabrush. Here are our sales numbers in the test market in Utah. We had videos of customer reviews, and we had our YouTube videos that we put up, and we had a lot of the mainstream media coverage. We included that as well. There was a lot going on that we wanted to make sure they knew about. So we sent them that DVD and got their attention. But we wanted to keep their attention while they were making the decision as to whether to pick up Orabrush for a national launch. So we tried some other different things. Jeff Harmon, who's in charge of our marketing, decides we should do a Facebook ad, and we should target it just at Walmart employees right around Walmart headquarters, national headquarters. We created an ad that said that Walmart employees have bad breath and they better start carrying the Orabrush in their store. And within a couple days and just $28 in ad spend later, we got an email from them saying, okay, we saw your ad. Very funny, you can stop running that ad now. Now they already knew about us. We were selling the brush in stores in Utah and having a lot of success, and they'd seen our DVD, but that Facebook ad kept their attention and let them know that we know what we're doing online. We can get this in front of people.
Walmart was very interested in the sales of Orabrush, not necessarily in the YouTube advertisements that we were producing, but the sales were so good they just couldn't say no.
We've been contacted by a lot of other smaller retailers, and we've learned that they always want to meet face-to-face. There's a lot of phone calls involved. Some of them want us to fax them information. Faxing. It's 2011. So we were expecting, when we were talking to Walmart and messaging them, we were waiting for the email where they were going to say, you know what, why don't we meet face-to-face? Why don't you fly out here? We'll talk about this in person. And then one day, we got an email that said, can you support 735,000 Orabrushes by August? Yeah, we can handle that. Sure, we can support that. So they send us this request with no face-to-face meeting, no video conference, not even any phone calls. This was all done through email.
Holy crap. My taste buds are standing on end.
They should. 2 years ago, we're selling the Orabrush out of our garage. Orabrush is the first company to go from nothing, from no distribution, to nationwide retail distribution using only YouTube. And we did it in the oral hygiene category, which is kind of crazy because that category is dominated by a few big companies. It was Walmart that gave their local managers the freedom to pick up local products and try them out and see how they do. And because of that, within a year, we're in every Walmart in the country.
I'm Dr. Bob.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for...
That's okay.
Bob?
They're both videos. You can't switch back and forth.
carrying everything a person could ever want anywhere, ever, anytime, ever.
Michael J. Fox.
It's a different Michael.
Hey, anytime you want to lend me the DeLorean, I'd love to go back in time.
Not the same Michael. I'm the Orabrush guy. And
I'm Morgan the Tongue. I'm a YouTube sensation.
Right, and thanks to Kurt, TV end cap display in Walmart number 2, and to the other 18 Walmarts that followed, Orabrush in Walmart's weeks 42 through 48 sold.
This just explained in a humorous introductory fashion all of our sales information that we knew would be relevant to that Walmart buyer. Again, we tried to come at them from as many different angles as we could. With the DVD, with the targeted Facebook ad, it just dawned on me that I have a lapel mic and I can walk away from that podium. But doing that, coming at them from all these different angles, it really did show them like, okay, these guys know how to get to people. And we did it all using video. We did it all online. Here we've tested out some things with video, and we found that when you place a good sales video, it has to be a good video, one that you've tested, one that you've vetted, one that you've shown increases sales. But when you put it on your landing page, when people come to your site, sales increase significantly. We've tested that same theory in retail locations now. The local Walmarts in Utah allowed us to put up our own TV and DVD player and to play our ad. And I've gone there and sat back and watched. And what you'll see is people walking by with their cart, and then they'll see the video and they'll stop and they get in kind of a trance and just kind of keep watching. And after 5 minutes of standing there, they'll grab one or two and keep going. Sales go up significantly when you have video in retail locations. Our online presence has been critical to us, not just because that's where we started. If we're in retail now, why are we still so focused online? This is why. Increasingly, people are going to be researching online before they buy offline. That's what that 2019 measurement shows, is that the majority of people, before they buy something offline, are going to be checking it out online, whether that's at home on their computer or increasingly on their mobile phone in the store. I know I do this all the time. YouTube, while it's a fantastic medium, is crowded. It's hard to get noticed on there. Some of these numbers are old. 48 hours are uploaded every minute, I believe. Every minute. That's unfathomable. Literally unfathomable. And that 3 billion number I know is outdated. 3 billion videos served a day is what they were doing a year ago. About last October they started passing up 4 billion. And now they're regularly passing 4 billion video views every day. So there's a lot of people on there. There's a lot of activity. And if you create a good video, it'll float to the top. It's not all just dancing cats on YouTube. You can create a quality video that catches people, and you can test that video to show that it does actually get their attention. The traditional path to purchase model, the sales model, is you offer stimulus, an advertisement, and people go to the store, they see your products, and they decide, I'm going to buy it or I'm not. First moment of truth. Okay, I'll buy it. And they buy it, and then the second moment of truth is whether they like it or not, whether they become a return customer. And as we've shown with that on-to-off graph, increasingly people are not just going to go straight through and buy it that way. There's a zero moment of truth where they find out about the product before they buy it. There's the stimulus, and then there's the research online. Whether or not you have a positive image there, whether or not people are talking about you in a positive light makes a huge difference whether they're even going to try it out in the first place. That zero moment of truth is something we focus on quite a bit. We want people, when they want to find out about Orabrush, we want to know what the conversation is that they're going to find. So we're a part of that conversation. The engagement loop, driving people online to offline and offline to on. We have that video playing in the stores as often as we can to let people know, and it's got that little YouTube logo in the corner. They know that they can come back online and find us. And our packaging has, as seen on YouTube, we asked the people at YouTube if we could put this on there, and they were like, I don't know. Nobody's ever asked us that before. Let me check. Yeah, okay, go for it. As seen on YouTube, now a regular on all of our packaging. So people know they can go find us online, find out more about the product, and ultimately, if they like what they find there, and we always strive to find that, they'll become brand advocates, not just from the product, but because they identify with the brand. We have a voice online that they're familiar with, that they enjoy. We become something more of a, not just a product, but an identity that they're familiar with and that they like. And because of that, we can do a lot of fun stuff like this.
It works!
You'll never sell, old man. Learn to play golf. Let me see that. Have you ever heard of YouTube?
I can make your script funny, but you'll need an actor.
Hi, we've got a couple things to discuss here. I asked for this for no onions. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if I had ordered extra onions, but I didn't. I ordered no onions because I care what my bread smells like. So if you'll notice, I'm single by myself at this table, and if I want to stay that way, then I'll order extra onions next time.
We're making a video for YouTube.
Halitophobia, the irrational fear of bad breath. I'm a halitophobia. 90% of bad breath comes from bacteria and residue on the tongue. On your tongue.
You can't keep doing this yourself. You need help.
I don't need help.
We're growing too fast.
You said you could handle this.
I never thought it would turn into this.
Don't let me down. Get in. Ever hear of P&G?
Portable network graphics.
What? No.
Papua New Guinea.
Not PNG. P&G. Procter & Gamble.
You're Jeff Davis. What do you want?
2 words. Orabrush.
76-year-old Robert Wagstaff.
Yeah, Orabrush is out to cure the world of bad breath.
The product is a little plastic brush designed to scrub and scrape the tongue.
Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Nightline. We're in Canada, Australia, Japan. We're going to retail. What do you want, Dr. Bob?
I want to be the #1 tongue cleaner in the world.
We got Austin Craig.
You're gonna need him, but you're missing something.
Okay, enough already. Who is this guy?
Who said he was a guy?
What the? It's a giant tongue.
You're going to cure the world of bad breath?
Watch me.
We did that after The Social Network. I keep leaning into this mic. I've got a lapel. We did that after The Social Network came out. We figured if Facebook can have a movie, so can we. And our CEO, Jeff Davis, didn't know we were doing that, and then he was watching it and saw himself being portrayed in there. I think he was pretty thrilled with that. The constraints on budget that we had to begin with have proven to not be real constraints for us, not in a hindering way. Those constraints have caused us to have to, by necessity, to be efficient and creative, and that is what has made our company. Thanks.
Thanks, Austin. We have room for like one question for Austin? So I see John in the back of the room. Can you run, Rob? Run, Rob, run.
I went over time. My apologies.
No, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I think the audience is fine with that too.
Yeah, first of all, thanks. That was a great story, and the creative is fantastic. And I never knew the story, so it was fun. But a quick question. There was a product 10 years ago, nasal air strips, that was invented by a guy. It reminds me a little bit of this story where an entrepreneur who couldn't sleep at night because he was always congested came up with this little device and launched it, and it had a huge growth trajectory. They did very well, but then, as normally happens, a couple years later, the big pharmaceutical companies got into the industry and kind of undermined the proposition. So how do you look at your P&G reference there? But I mean, as those guys see that this is a credible market and they come in, has that happened yet? And then two, how do you prevent that from kind of undermining what you've done? Because obviously you have a unique character of the brand, and is that what you're hoping kind of carries the day? Or how do you guys think about that?
The brand has carried the day, but thankfully, Dr. Bob, the guy who invented and developed the product, he was very thorough about intellectual property. The product is patented in a way that you can't duplicate it legally. It has surgical scrub bristles and a scraper, and that's the most effective combination for tongue cleaning, and if anybody else makes anything like that, they're violating our intellectual property. So we have that in place, and then we promote the brand in such a way that the major companies, the big corporations who would want to duplicate this, If they want to do this, they're going to have to come to us. They're going to have to, because they can't legally violate our intellectual property, and they're going to have a hard time duplicating kind of the grassroots brand identity that we've created.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, just
personal anecdote. I don't think they're going to try the same stuff that we do. This is stupid and crazy and weird. I think big companies have too much bureaucracy and too many people with veto power to go out and hire a comedian in a 6-foot-tall tongue costume to make really weird jokes with their brand all over it. It's worked for us, and we were able to do it because we're a small creative team with not a lot of executive barrier. Thankfully, the executives of the company have been very understanding of our success comes from this kind of risk-taking, so we can't always step in the way of that.
So anyway, what's the discount code if you want an Orabrush?
Discount code. Thank you for reminding me. I just came from a conference in New York and I forgot to tell them the discount code. I felt really bad afterwards because everybody's like, do you have one? I was like, I don't, and I forgot to tell you guys about the discount code. If you go to Orabrush and you want to try one out, first of all, we're in Walmart, we're in CVS. We just announced this morning that we're in Walgreens now. And because of our online success, we continue to get in more and more retailers. But if you want to order one online, we still sell a great many online and have a huge presence there. You can just use my name, Austin. In the checkout, it'll ask for a discount code, Austin. And that will get you a few dollars off your Orabrush, or we just released a second product, the Orabrush Tongue Foam. It's like toothpaste for your Orabrush. It's an enzyme-based foaming solution that enhances the experience and keeps your breath fresh longer.
Okay. Thanks, Austin. So Austin is going to stick around for a roundtable and lunch. So if you would like to talk to Austin later, you may. I'm actually moderating the next panel because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I'm going to ask them to kind of come up.